Welcome to my channel, where I bring literature to life through dramatic readings. Whether you're a fan of whodunits, fantasy, or anything in between, you'll find something to love here. Now join me as I dive into the world of words and let the stories unfold before your very eyes. Today, I'm going to read Never Die Alone, a Mafia romance by Mickey Black. Here's the blurb. Y'all ready? He needed a wife, but she had other plans. Heir to the New York criminal empire, Lucián Nevarez will do anything to take control of his family business, even if it means marriage. When Monique James re-enters his life, Lucian puts a plan in motion to make her his wife. The only problem? Beautiful, captivating Monique has a secret, which could put the crime boss behind bars for the rest of his life. Y'all, this got 5 stars from some peeps. I'm just saying. Let's dive in and find out. Got it on the Kindle. Chapter 1. Diamond cufflinks sparkled under the strobe light. Tall and broad-shouldered, the curls of his hair glinted in the dancing lights. Lucián Nevarez strolled into Crush nightclub like a lion roaming his domain. He moved energetically, lively. He was poetry in motion. The black tailored suit he wore clung to his shoulders and biceps as he cut through a throng of dancing bodies. Despite being designed for the office, the body beneath the wool suit was unequivocally hard and athletic. Lucian was not there that night to party or even be seen. He had an obligation, a duty to perform. Tonight, he was there to celebrate his father's 60th birthday, and although he wasn't particularly close to the man, Lucian had to show his respect. The vibe in Crush was electric. Packed nearly to capacity, the nightclub was in rare form. Flashing lights, beautifully scantily clad women, and thumping Latin music that hit with a bang. All of this for a man Lucian called Papi, a man who elicited fear and respect in all 5 boroughs of New York City. The music added rhythm to Lucian's step as he made long strides to the elaborate bar section. All glass and chrome, the bar stretched from one end of the club to the other, manned by handsome bartenders and sexy cocktail waitresses. Lucian squeezed between 2 bar stools occupied by men wearing sunglasses, sipping from bottoms of Presidente beer. He motioned for a bartender, who quickly dropped what he was doing to serve him. "Get me a double shot of spiced rum." The bartender handed him a drink, and Lucian slung it back in one gulp. The amber liquid warmed his body as the bass line from the music reverberated in his chest. It wasn't often that Lucian had the opportunity to be out. As a corporate attorney who ran his own practice, he spent most of his time in his Manhattan office and in meetings. When Lucian wasn't working, he could be found with a nameless female enjoying his bachelorhood. At over 6 feet in height, Lucian naturally stood out in any crowd. Tonight was no exception. His butter pecan skin, piercing dark eyes, and killer smile caught the attention of several females inside the club, one of which broke away from her group of girlfriends to approach him. "Luke!" she squealed. Her breasts bounced as she made her way over to the bar. She nearly knocked over the beer bottle of one of the men when she squeezed in to get close to him. Lucian studied the woman's face. She looked faintly familiar. But when he tried to match the name to the face, he drew a blank. The fact that he didn't recognize her didn't go unnoticed. "Don't you remember me?" she asked, thrusting her cleavage in his way. "I spent the whole night at your penthouse." Squinting his dark eyes, he searched his memory. The door to his penthouse was a revolving one with those perky bits and fat behinds coming in and out of regular intervals. This chick standing in front of him Could have been at his apartment last night for all he knew. He stared blankly at her. I think you have me confused with someone else, he said with a lazy smile. Maybe you've had too much to drink. Her sculpted eyebrows creased into a V shape between her eyes. Lucian could practically see heat emanate from the top of her head. What? You think you're nice or something? She said, winding her neck. I waited an hour in line to give you another chance at all this, but you got me all the way effed up. That's too bad, Lucian chuckled before he smoothly walked away. He couldn't remember the last time he waited an hour for anything, let alone to get inside of a club. Lucian waited for nothing. If he wanted something, he took it and asked no questions. He was a Nevarez, and in New York City, that name held weight. When the streets whispered of the Dominicans, they were speaking of one family, the notorious Nevarez clan, and the head of it was Lucian's father, Maximo Nevarez. If there was a king of New York, it would be Maximo. He had his hands in everything from drugs to money laundering and mortgage fraud. The criminal empire he built was worth millions. Cutting his teeth on the hard streets of Santo Domingo, Maximo survived as a youth pulling robbery stunts on unsuspecting tourists on the beautiful island. It was at the age of 17 he realized that the real money was in gold. Rounding up a team of hard thugs, Maximo descended on gold mines, robbing them blind and selling the precious metals on the black market. At 21, he bought a green card and headed to America, where he infiltrated the drug game. Years of shootouts and bloodshed brought him all the way to the top, where he arguably became the king of New York underworld. These days, Maximo was living his life as a gangster, pretending to be a legitimate businessman. Thanks to Lucian, the facade was becoming more of a reality, although Maximo still held tightly to his criminal ties. Luke! A voice bellowed over the blaring music. Lucian peered over his shoulder to see a mop of curly blonde hair and a bright smile approaching. It was Cristobal, his baby brother. Cristobal Nevarez, the former professional football player, was 2 inches shy of 6 feet and 180 pounds of solid muscle. His skin was the color of caramel. With his dark eyes and easy smile, he was a constant draw for attention from the opposite sex. Cristobal was the family's wild card. He made a name for himself as the toughest wide receiver in the professional football league. Unfortunately for him, years of aggression on the field took its toll, and he was forced to retire after playing 5 years for Cincinnati when he suffered a concussion. It took years for Cristobal to get back on his feet. Leaving behind the sport he loved put his finances in disarray, but thanks to Maximo, he was able to open Crush, the city's premier Latino nightclub. Lucian threw his arm over his baby brother's shoulder. Where's Papi? He asked. Papi and the crew are in the VIP, Cristobal answered with a low sigh. Lucian could see the resignation on his baby brother's face. Maximo and his crew were never an easy crowd to cater. Most of them were from the old country and abided by Dominicano rules. There wasn't much respect for the way things were done in America. He had a sinking feeling that tonight, the old crew was going to show all the way out. And that was chapter 1. What'd you think? It's kind of cool, right? Now, I do admit I had to do a little bit of editing because I don't want to be demonetized. So I will say that being that this is a Mafia romance, there's going to be a little bit of an edge to it. The F up was not obviously F up. Those bits were not just bits. You can guess what they were. Rhymes with a T. So I'm just saying, while yes, I made that friendly for all to hear, essentially, it is going to edge on it. That was chapter 1. Will it increase? Probably. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. It was a good, interesting read. I think so. I'm going to put the link in the description below. As always, you can check it out for yourself. Hope you enjoy Mickey Black's story. Woo! Thank you for joining me for this dramatic reading. I hope you enjoyed my interpretation of this literary work. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with my latest videos hit that bell so you won't miss a video, and let me know in the comments which books you want to hear next. I mean, come on now. I need content. Plus, you know you enjoy this. You can put me on the background while you're working or while you're doing stuff and listen. I get it. I ain't mad. I ain't mad at all. It's a great opportunity to hear new books. So let me know what you want me to bring to life next. Until then, happy reading.